into Democrats and the Biden administration once the slim House GOP majority takes hold. But with Trump's latest election lies, which include an appalling and anti-democratic suggestion to suspend the U.S. Constitution in order to either redo the 2020 election or just declare him winner, could that political circus, as Clinton put it, include relitigation of the 2020 election? We're going to ask NBC senior politics reporter Jonathan Allen, who is joining me now. I mean, that's not actually going to happen. Nobody really takes this seriously.
Donald Trump is not going to be installed as president of the United States. But what's fascinating...
No, but even the relitigation part of it, like even just revisiting.
None of it's going to happen. It will not happen. The 2020 election was decided fairly. Pretty much anybody who's serious acknowledges that. Republicans would like Donald Trump to stop talking about it. I shouldn't say all Republicans, but I would say most leading Republican Party officials would like Donald Trump to stop talking about it. They think that it has not only been embarrassing, but has hurt their party, as evidenced by these recent midterm elections, in which Republicans were expected to have a big wave and ended up having a little ripple. Going beyond that, Yasmin, you put up that Truth Social post.
Yeah.
For about half a dozen years now, Democrats and even some Republicans have said that Donald Trump wanted to get rid of some of the Constitution, that he wanted to ignore it or rip up parts of the Constitution. And here is Donald Trump saying, hold my beer. I would like to get rid of the whole damn thing. So he is he is just openly admitting what they've been accusing him of for years. And, it's hard to see how Republican members of Congress will go along with that, or other Republican officials will go along with the idea of just dispensing with the Constitution.
Here's Jonathan Allen, why I'm not so sure about the fact that they won't necessarily pursue some type of relitigation, even if it means kind of this, thinly veiled kind of investigation into what took place on January 6th from the other end, right? And it's because of the letter that McCarthy sent, where he has promised now to investigate, right, the very investigation, and asking for, I believe, he said, preserving all records and transcripts of testimony taken during your investigation, saying the GOP will hold hearings into why the Capitol complex was not secure on January 6th, 2021. So even with this promise, of course, with the promise of multiple investigations into the Biden administration as well, along with Hunter Biden by the Republican-led majority in the House starting in January, you can't help but think if Marjorie Taylor Greene, someone like that, speaks up, and she's got Kevin McCarthy in the crosshairs, considering the fact that he's still vying for speakership, something like this couldn't happen.
Well, I mean, it depends on what we're talking about in terms of relitigating. I mean, I think you can separate relitigating what the January 6th committee reports or doesn't report from from the question of whether the 2020 election was legitimately decided or whether the actions of former President Trump were legitimate in the wake of that. So, if they are looking at did law enforcement do everything that it could to prevent this, were there intelligence failures, things like that, those are credible questions, and I think that they will be pursued. And frankly, there's been a lot of disagreement within the January 6th committee about how much of that to include in their own report. But as Hillary Clinton said in the clip you just played, I mean, House of Representatives is an inherently political body, and it is usually pretty clear when what they are doing is, designed to be political or when it's designed to try to be less political.